Welcome to our channel where we study stories and teachings that can illuminate our lives. Today we have an inspiring story which will lead us to Jansky, a monastery in China, where a simple disciple known as Rice Student discovered true meditation and enlightenment everyday tasks. Get ready for a journey of self-discovery and wisdom. But before we get into this incredible story, if you haven't already subscribed, click the subscribe button below and activate the bell so as not to miss any of ours inspiring content. Was located in one of the parts of China impressive monastery, where about 500 monks devoted themselves to searching self-realization, following the instructions of your price master's point. Once upon a time in a monastery, a man came with the desire to become a student. He told the Zen master, "Lord, I want know the truth, know yourself." Zen master carefully assessed it and responded, "And if you are looking for the truth, you must be ready. Devote his whole life to her, but even in this case, there are no guarantees that you will achieve it in this life. Are you really ready for this?" The student firmly confirmed, "Sir, I am here, ready to take on this challenge without retreating." Then the master suggested a specific task. 500 people live in this monastery, monks who need food. Your task will be to fight them all off. Keep pounding rice from dawn until sunset. When you feel tired, rest and resume work in the morning. During this period, do not allow yourself to think nothing else, just go for it. Weigh and don't come to me again. I'll come to you when needed. The young student began his journey, dedicating himself to the master's instruction in monastery, where he needed to be fed. All this time, he remained silent, engaging in conversation with other monks, and no one came to talk to him for the first few months. So far, he whipped rice. He was visited by several thoughts. However, since these thoughts are no longer, they naturally found new topics, faded away by themselves. Over time, his thoughts gradually became subside. After a few years, he reached, because he forgot his name all the time, remained silent while continuing his task of pounding rice in a state of mind-deprived thoughts. He did not meditate or read the scriptures. The oldest students of the monastery considered him insignificant and far inferior to them. 12 years passed through this tireless practice. After all this time, Master announced that his time on earth is coming to the end, and what you need to choose, successor to the next rector monastery. To determine the successor, Master offered to any student who has achieved right self-realization on the door at night. A few lines sharing your complete experience. Many students pondered this problem, but one of the oldest students, widely respected for your knowledge of Buddhist scriptures, came up with a few lines. All the monks saw the possible in him, successor to his teacher. In his lines he wrote, "A mind like a mirror, in which dust accumulates thoughts and desires. Meditation is the process of clearing this dust. When the dust is removed and the mind becomes salvation, is achieved as clear as a mirror." However, the next morning when the master came across these lines, he came to rage. He exclaimed, "What nonsense! Someone wrote on my wall." The oldest student was silent. Despite this, the lines he wrote contained wisdom. Even if superficial knowledge, the most experienced student demonstrated your intellect by writing lines, however, not signed them because he himself doubted them truthfulness, because I have not achieved self-realization. The master furiously rejected these lines, surprising everyone in the monastery. This incident caused heated controversy among students. Two of them approached the student who had come 12 years ago to the same one who, without tired of pushing rice, and asked him why. He's laughing with a soft smile. He replied that he was laughing because the master was right in his refusal to consider the lines useless. And useless, the students were perplexed and asked, "Student of rice, write a few lines better." To which he replied that he illiterate, but ready to dictate lines, and if anyone writes for him. They agreed to the offer and went to master's room. Rice's student said these words, and another. The student wrote them on the wall and signed them. As a student of rice, a similar reaction was expected from the master previous, but the lines dictated by him were amazing words. Proclaimed the mind. It's just illusion. There is no mind or mirror of the mind when near the coins where dust can settle. The one who understands it knows the truth. Seeing these lines, the master stood in the middle. Night approached the young rice student and woke him up. He resolutely handed him your staff and clothes. From this day you become my successor, but you have to leave this monastery immediately and move away from here. I know that in this monastery there are many scientists who consider themselves superior to you. They may even try to harm you because they can't come to terms with the fact that simple student Rice achieved enlightenment, but they don't. You have everything you have, me, and you achieved this by defeating Rice. I'm sure that people will come to you when the flower is blooming. Its aroma is spreading everywhere. Rice's disciple bowed to his feet. Teachers, if we watch our lives, we understand that many people believe that meditation can only be practiced while sitting in one place with eyes closed. However, it is not. Meditation can be practiced during walking or performing daily tasks. The real meaning of meditation is to be completely absorbed in the subject. What do we do to such an extent that we are aware of our body in the same way as the Rice disciple was so engrossed pounding rice that I lost count of myself. Zen means being constantly in the present moment and not think about anything, because it only exists then when there are thoughts. When thoughts disappear, he also disappears, remains the only true and pure. We don't need to perform other spiritual practices to learn. We just need our true nature. Completely immerse yourself in what we do, turning your work into meditation. We remember that true meditation and enlightenment is not limited. Traditional practices can be found in our daily actions, and if we carry them out with full presence and with devotion, as a student of Rice, he teaches us that it's really empty when we completely immersed in the delivered task. We really appreciate you following this history, and we hope that it touched your heart just like ours. If you liked this content, please like and subscribe to our channel to get more like this inspiring stories. Share this wisdom with your friends so that we can all find enlightenment in our daily life. Thank you for being part of our community and for what decided to strive for the truth and self-knowledge to the next.